What's going on, peeps? It's Nick Johnson, your favorite sports YouTube journalist here, back with another video. And I'm going to talk some basketball-related stuff. More notably, the news that we all got on Wednesday. Now, as you all remember, this past Wednesday, we all got word that James Harden was traded to the Brooklyn Nets in a 3-team deal that also involved the Cleveland Cavaliers. So, the Brooklyn Nets, the Houston Rockets, and the Cleveland Cavaliers were on a 3-team deal revolving around James Harden. So Harden, the centerpiece and franchise stalwart for Houston for the last 8 years, was traded to Brooklyn in exchange for a massive haul from Brooklyn, which included Karis LeVert, a player named Dromonius Kurucs, I forgot his name, I apologize for that, 3 future first-rounders from Brooklyn, and even swapping another 4 first-rounders with one another, and also getting a second-round pick for Cleveland, while Brooklyn, on the other hand, would send Jared Allen and Taurean Prince to Cleveland, while Cleveland also sent Dante Exum to Houston to complete the deal. So that's the trade details involving all 3 parties. So the fallout from this, on paper, the Nets easily has the best chance to win the NBA title this season, because you now have a 3-headed monster in Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and now James Harden in the mold. So on paper, hands down, the Nets can easily win the NBA title. But on a realistic basketball standpoint, I don't see where the chemistry fits in this scenario, because think about it. You got a guy that is known for like the last several years is not known to get along well with his co-stars. I mean, you've seen that with Dwight Howard. You've seen that with Chris Paul. And last season, you've seen that with Russell Westbrook. And you kind of seen that on with John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins. So, with that in effect, I just don't see how this will work on a realistic basketball chemistry standpoint. And chemistry-wise, you got a guy who is known for wanting the ball in his hands every single time and just hit that lethal step-back three-point jumper, which he's known for. And basically just him with the ball and just get him a whole bunch of shooters all the way around. Well, they don't have to do nothing too special. From fans, it's boring to watch, and for teammates, it's just absolutely miserable. So, you already have a legitimate playmaker in Kyrie Irving, who's out because he was doing some dumb shit with this whole pandemic going on. Now he has to quarantine for a while. I don't know when he'll be back. And Kevin Durant, who's basically the lone wolf. But from what I heard, KD and Harden are on good terms as of now. I don't know if that's true, but hopefully that's the case. And there's a rumor that Kyrie approved the trade of Harden to go to Brooklyn. So I don't know. That may be true as well. But looking at it now, I just don't see how that kind of makes sense from a basketball standpoint. But at the same time, it gives Brooklyn a chance, all the tools in the world, to win an NBA title this season, most likely. So now the Eastern Conference is on full alert. Now it's going to be on full lockdown with a 3-headed monster in one city that's going to probably dominate the Eastern Conference playoffs and way to probably an NBA title. So that's something to keep an eye on too. So it'd be very, very interesting to see how that goes. I'm sorry, I'm on my Uber ride on my way to work, and the trucks are making noises. Maybe it's just a train, I don't know. But yeah. So, and for Houston, they got a really, really good package out of this. But on a separate deal, they traded away LeVert and a second rounder, which they just got from Brooklyn, to the Indiana Pacers in exchange for all-star shooting guard Victor Oladipo. Now, we all know the situation regarding Oladipo's time in Indiana was nearing its end anyway, because he's currently on the final year of his contract. And we can only see how well he does in Houston. Maybe he can be a catch-and-shoot three-pointer, which he's probably not that good at, but he can gel well with the likes of John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins. A playmaking point guard on Wall and a great center in Cousins. 2 guys that basically clashed with Harden before he even got out of there, because Harden's time in Houston was basically a focal point in the offseason before he came about, because his relationship with Russell Westbrook fell apart, and that's the reason why the Rockets traded him away to the Wizards for John Wall and a first-rounder. Now he basically forced himself out of Houston because of the way the team was going, But at the same time, he basically put them in that scenario because of his outrageous demands, how they've getting him new teammates almost for a short period of time. It's just crazy. So I just don't know how long they'll be able to go about this route going forward. Right here, man. All right, thanks so much, dude. All right, stay safe. All right. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. Just got out of my ride. But yeah, Harden basically forced himself out of Houston because of the scenario that he claimed he wanted to be in, but and a style of basketball play that he was not accustomed to. So with that, he just forced himself out of Houston, and I think they just did themselves a favor by getting rid of his massive contract. His massive contract and all of the sorts around that. So yeah. So anyways, to Indiana, you got another good playmaker in LeVert and a good defender. And the second round pick was just for consolation. So yeah, now you have Malcolm Brogdon and Domantas Sabonis. Now you add a LeVert to the lineup. This could be a good foundational roster. I don't expect them to make a deep playoff run. I mean, despite the hot start that they've had this season. But who knows? And maybe Oladipo can find his footing even further in Houston. Who knows? Only thing is, NBA is only a place where time can only tell for itself, you know? So yeah, it's kind of like my assessment of the whole James Harden blockbuster trade. Like I said, I don't know how this is going to work well for all parties involved, but who knows? Time will tell. Maybe James Harden will finally change that play style that we all been clamoring for him to do for the longest, and hopefully he'll gel well with co-stars, you know? And by the way, fun fact, both Kevin Durant and James Harden started their careers in Oklahoma City, each drafted like 1 year apart. You know, in 2007, the Thunder drafted Kevin Durant second overall when they got him, when they were still in Seattle, their final year as a Supersonics franchise before they moved to OKC. Then they drafted Russell Westbrook a year later, and then a year later they got James Harden. And the last time they played together was in 2012 when they made it to the NBA Finals, losing in 5 games to the Big Three monster of the Miami Heat. And we all know how that ended. So maybe a good change of scenery is needed for Harden, but at the same time, I just don't know how this is going to work. But then again, only time will tell. From a basketball standpoint, it doesn't make sense, but on paper, they're a legitimate threat to win the NBA title this season. So, yeah. Anyways, that's my whole video for today. And I'm sorry I've been away for like a week or two because I was dealing with some stuff. Plus, I had a root canal on my teeth last weekend. So, I'll promise to be more consistent in my videos. Plus, tomorrow I'm going to talk more on the NFL playoffs because I should have talked about it beforehand. And I'm going to go over the background and last week's results and what am I going to expect for this coming weekend of NFL playoff action. So, and who do I predict is going to win the Super Bowl this year? So, that being said, that's all I have for today. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure to hit that bell button where you get my notifications when I'm going to upload my next video. And let me know what you think about this blockbuster trade this past Wednesday. And how do you think of it? What do you think of it? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Let me know. We'll have that conversation. That being said, I'm Nick Johnson, your favorite sports YouTube journalist, and I'm out. Peace.